A long, long time ago, before anything existed, Meme Wenungi, the grandfather of creation, began to make the things we now see around us. He made the waters of the rivers, the lagoons and the streams. He created the jungle with all its trees and plants, and then he began to create the animals. The good ones, like the wild pigs, turkeys, cassowaries, toucans, parrots and monkeys. The ones that can harm, like the tiger and the snakes, also appeared. And the big ugly tapir. Next came the fish, lizards and turtles in the water. And when the jaguar gave birth to us, we, the Horani, appeared. Wenungi gave us the living earth. It is like us, a thinking living being, as if it had blood. Like a person, the earth breathes and the water flows, like our blood. If we love the earth, it is because it is full of life. If it gives life, it is because it has life to give. So much life that the animals shout with joy. The earth supports plants and animals. And the more we care for it, the more life it will have. The earth is either happy or sad, depending on how we treat it.
This man is called Nyame Enomenga, and he is the last generation of a tribe, the Huarani, which tragically has been condemned to disappear. Nyame lives with his family in Nenkipari, a small settlement on the banks of the river Shiripuno. He is married to Vara, and just a short time ago they moved to this place in the heart of the equatorial Amazon. The Huarani are a people of only 1,500 members, but their importance and notoriety have for at least a century been much greater than their mere numbers. Until just 30 years ago, even for their closest neighbors, they were more like ghosts than real people. They controlled an area of around 20,000 square kilometers and fought off much larger tribes, and even the all-powerful oil companies and the government itself. Despite this, little or nothing was known about them. The Huarani had no past, no history. They came from the darkest depths of time. The majority of the Huarani now live in the jungle of the Yasuni National Park, a reserve in eastern Ecuador in the provinces of Napo and Pastaza, which covers 1 million hectares of tropical Amazon forest. Yasuni forms part of the so-called Napo enclave dating from the Pleistocene. It is one of the 10 places in the world with the greatest biological diversity. The Amazon ecosystem, and especially the rainforest, is considered one of the world's most complex animal and plant habitats. Its most important characteristics are the sheer number of different animal and plant species and the extraordinary variations in macro and micro habitats. In this park alone, over 100 species of tree per hectare have been identified. To give us some idea of the scale of this number, in the richest, densest jungles of Central America, the equivalent figure is no more than 40. But it was not this, but rather the incredible diversity of animal life that prompted UNESCO to declare it a World Biosphere Reserve in 1979. The most recent investigations have come up with spectacular statistics. Over 500 species of bird, 62 snakes, and over 100 amphibians, 43 of which are tree frogs alone. 173 different mammal species have been officially recorded, though it is thought that the true figure could be over 200, 70% of all the mammals in Ecuador. The canopies of the trees are the almost exclusive territory of birds and monkeys. Up there they find safety away from the dangers of the dark forest floor. Down in the world beneath the canopy of the forest, danger is ever-present, and vigilance a constant necessity. There is always someone stronger and faster on the lookout for something to kill and to eat. The Amazon forest is a biological museum. It contains by far the greatest collection of life on our planet. No man-made museum even comes close to rivaling the rainforest in the number of different exhibits. No library or computer network could possibly contain the amount of information stored in the chromosomes of the organisms that make up the forest. The vast canopy of the tropical rainforest stretching right to the Atlantic coast begins at the foothills of the Andes. As we move higher, the forest gives way to increasingly sparse vegetation until we finally reach the snow and the glaciers. These peaks, covered in perpetual snow, are the source of the thousands of rivers and streams which eventually form the Amazon, the mighty river of rivers. The Andes mark the enormous dividing line running right through the continent, which forces rivers to flow either into the Atlantic or the Pacific. All those on the Atlantic side, without exception, form part of the Amazon system, by far the largest river basin in the world. The largest tributary of the Amazon is the Napo, which traditionally has marked the natural limits of the territories of the Guarani. Until 50 years ago, they were the lords and masters of these forests and waters.